Welcome back. Right, Arsenal sit top of the Premier League table after a fantastic start to the season. Most pundits argue they have the strongest squad that they've ever had in Premier League history. Could Mikel Arteta, though, add more depth? Let's find out and speak to our reporter, Dharmesh Chef, who's keeping warm in North London. Dharmesh, a very good morning to you. What do we think then? Will Arteta be tempted to push for a few new signings to help bolster those Premier League title chances?
Yeah, morning, Will. I would say at this stage, it's likely to be a quiet window in January for Arsenal. Mikel Arteta has been asked the question in previous news conferences. He said, "We are Arsenal. We will keep our eyes open." I only think they will go into the market if a unique market opportunity was to present itself or a long-term target suddenly became available. But even then, you've got to realise their squad is so good, as you mentioned before, that there's at least 2 players in each position. Mikel Arteta is having to leave out certain players from his 20-man squad, let alone his first 11. And if you look at January, Arsenal, like many other clubs, go into a summer transfer window and they don't think, you know, let's go big in January. That's never the approach. And the last time they actually did any kind of key business in a January transfer window, you have to go back to January 2023. That's 3 years ago, when Leandro Trossard, Jakub Kiwior and Jorginho all joined the club. So you'd have to say at this stage, it looks like it's going to be a quiet window for Arsenal. But as you say, you never know. And with what Mikel Arteta has been saying in news conferences, and I'm sure he'll be asked the question again this morning, he says that we are always alert to any opportunity.
Yeah, and look, it was a good result, wasn't it, last night for Arsenal, with Manchester City, Dharmesh, drawing up at Sunderland. A 4-point lead, a new year for Mikel Arteta and his side, and they'll want to pick up exactly where they left off in 25.
Oh, 100%, and I'm sure they really enjoyed Manchester City dropping points at the Stadium of Light last night. But as far as Arsenal are concerned, what a way to end 2025 with that statement victory over Aston Villa by 4-1 at the Emirates. And look, the games are coming thick and fast, though, aren't they? They've got Bournemouth tomorrow. It will be their 5th game in 15 days. I know every other club has got that problem as well with this fixture schedule, but Arsenal's season so far, even though they are top, has been blighted by injuries. But you get the impression that they are moving closer to a fully fit squad. You'll know that Kai Havertz returned to the squad against Aston Villa for the first time since the opening day of the season. Gabriel Jesus scored his first goal for Arsenal since New Year's Day in 2025. There are a few other injury issues that Arsenal have got in the form of Christian Mosquera, Ricardo Calafiori, and of course Declan Rice, who missed that game against Aston Villa. They should be on the mend and returning very, very soon. Let's see if the Bournemouth game is too soon, but I'm sure Mikel Arteta normally keeps his cards close to his chest, but we will ask him if there are any updates on those players. He's addressing the media, Will, at around 9:30 this morning. We'll bring you the best of that right here on Sky Sports News. And of course, Bournemouth against Arsenal is the live Saturday night football. Coverage gets underway on Sky Sports Premier League tomorrow from around 5 p.m.
Dharmesh, cheers, mate. Thank you very much. Mr. Dan Gosling. So look, Arsenal are in a great position. They've got a deep squad that has been doing the business. If you're Mikel Arteta, do you stick with what you've got, or do you try and bring something in Jan?
Really difficult. Dharmesh said if a unique opportunity came along, then they'll be there, like every top club should be. Semenyo is a unique opportunity, I believe.
Are you surprised they didn't move on that?
I am, but at the same time, they are well stocked in wide areas. They're well stocked through the middle. Gabby Jesus has just come back, started scoring. They've got Kai Havertz on the verge of coming back. So there's another 2 attackers where arguably they could get in the starting 11. So I'm not totally surprised, because there's just no room for him. Maybe if they sold one and got him in, I believe they could have done that. Possibly Trossard, maybe. There was links last year of Trossard. He ended up staying.
I mean, arguably there's no room for him at City, but Pep's stockpiling him as well.
yeah, I agree. I think the difference is Arsenal's wingers are contributing a lot of goals. To take someone out, Saka plays no matter what. Obviously, Gyökeres they've spent big money on. So he normally plays. It's just the left-hand side, and Martinelli and Trossard have rotated that. That's probably the side where where, if anywhere, I would see Semenyo. But at the same time, Martinelli's young, he's improving all the time. Trossard gets really important goals. Really important goals.
I was going to say, Trossard's had a great season this
so,
year. You've got Eberechi Eze as well, who can play out on the left, that they spent quite a lot in. Dan, I was going to ask you, being in a changing room during a transfer window, a team that's doing so well, top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League, is there a risk that if you do bring someone in, it could just disturb things a little bit?
Yeah, there is that. I think if Semenyo did go to, say, an Arsenal, I think that the two guys on the left would be a little bit concerned and think, oh, where's my game time coming? So it can upset it a little bit. So I don't see Arsenal moving for Semenyo, to be honest. I think in another window, in maybe the summer possibly, where they'd have more time to sort the squad out. But at this moment in time, and the other caveat is people don't want to leave Arsenal right now.
Yeah.
They're on the verge of winning the Premier League for the first time in 15, 20 years. So, why would you want to leave when you're playing a big part in the squad?
And it's hard to argue against what we just mentioned there, this Arsenal squad being the strongest in Premier League history. I mean, look, the Invincibles were incredible, but as a squad and as a group of players, and 2 and 3 in every position now, James. But where if they did look to strengthen, and we've heard this phrase twice over the last 5 minutes, this unique opportunity, positionally, where would they be weakest in looking?
Well, look, unique opportunities come and go. Look, these clubs have plans throughout. They have plans for a year, 2 years, 3 years in advance. If a player that they're looking at maybe getting in the summer, all of a sudden comes available in January and they think they can steal a march on one of their rivals, then they could potentially jump and do it. Arsenal are in that position to do that if they need to. If you talk about Arsenal's weak, look, it's very difficult to see a weakness in that squad. It is the deepest squad I've ever seen at Arsenal, ever. They've got replacements in every single position, players that Mikel Arteta now trusts, which was an issue previous seasons where he didn't trust those players to come in, hence why he had such a tight group to play so many minutes and so many games, led to a lot of injuries. I think the back line with obviously Mosquera's injury maybe leaves them maybe a little bit vulnerable at times, but still we've seen them cope without Gabriel, without Saliba. Ben White didn't play much, then he's come in. Timber's missed a couple of games. Calafiori's out, but you've got Lewis Skelly still there. You feel like with this Arsenal side, there are still 2 players in every single position, and they're not just like a squad player. They are 2 players that you feel could play for a lot of Premier League sides and do a wonderful job as well.
I know James is answering this, but just finally on Arsenal, on City, on Semenyo, on the title race, does the Semenyo signing, which looks like it's imminent for City, give them the advantage, do you think, in the title race, Dan?
I think it's going to go down to the wire. I think it's going to be really close. I see it as a 2-horse race. Villa are doing fantastic, and that they could add as well with a couple departing. But I don't see them lasting. I think you could see the gulf in quality the other night when Arsenal played them. I think they overran them in the end. After Villa's strong start, they could have went 1 or 2 up, to be honest. But in the end, I think that the quality's shown. Semenyo gives Man City more goals.
Is that a fence you're sitting on there, Dan?
I still believe City will actually come back and win it, to be honest.
Got there in the end, Dan.
Far too old.
Me too, but I still had a big one anyway. I'm still recovering. Right, let's get into that big decision then, guys, that we just saw there. Huge talking point, Arsenal's win over Aston Villa on Tuesday night. Lots of Villa fans asking why Darren England did not produce a second yellow card from Mikel Merino here for pulling back Morgan Rogers. He's not trying to play the ball. Did Arsenal really get away with one, Dermot?
Definitely. You see that, the evidence is clear. He pulls him back, he locks his arm, stops him making a promising attack. He's already on a yellow card. All I can think is Darren's on the wrong side. He doesn't see that. He just gives a foul. But once he gives a foul, he can see he's away. So I think he's very, very lucky.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree on that one as well. Obviously, Morgan Rogers has turned Moreno really well. And like Dermot said there, he's on the opposite side, so he can't see him holding his arm. But there's no doubt about it. That should have been a second yellow card.
I think our producer Dean came up with a good way to describe it. He called it an arm bar. You watch MMA, UFC, and you trap the arm like that. He had it all straightened out. I was watching it nervously, probably like you were. It was 2-0 at the time, Jay. Yeah. Do you think this could have made a difference if he'd been sent off?
Yeah, it definitely could make a difference. I mean, listen, we've seen Aston Villa make some really good comebacks this year, a lot of comebacks as well. So it definitely could have made a difference. But it's one that Arsenal got away with. And obviously Moreno was very fortunate.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. It's one of those questions, isn't it? We're seeing more and more of these decisions, aren't we? We saw it, didn't we, with City? They probably got lucky with Ruben Dias not getting a second yellow against Forest early in the second half. And VAR checks are being considered by FIFA for this summer's World Cup. So how long before we might see checks for second yellows in the Premier League? And do you think that's a good thing?
Well, the Premier League can't go first. IFAB have to decide. IFAB have to decide the laws of the game. If they decide we can check it, then the VAR can check it in the Premier League, but they can't do it on their own. They can't go first. They can't jump the gun.
Yeah, no, I think so as well. I think it will be good for football because there are some unfortunate decisions that have happened on both ways, you know, 4 red cards and not. But I think that is something that makes the game better, so I'm all for that.
It slows the game down a bit more, though, doesn't it?
I mean, yes, but I'd rather get the right decision and, you know, slow it down a little bit more.
Yeah.
What do you think now?
That's quite a statement, really. Because,
what would you rather, though? You'd rather the right person stay on the pitch or not stand, you know?
I'd rather have justice, but the biggest argument on VAR is the time element, isn't it? You know, if you see a delay, everybody goes, what's the delay?
But, you know, I think those decisions are more clear-cut. I think it's the offside ones that are sometimes really, really tight, where they're looking at, you know, there's loads of bodies in the line and it's more difficult. Whereas I feel like challenges, generally, you can look at, you know, it would take like maybe 10 seconds to look at a challenge to see if it's a yellow card or a red card or the right decision or wrong decision.
Well,
if they stand out, you can't they? I mean, there has been a few standout. There was that one. I mean, there was a Wan-Bissaka at Old Trafford for West Ham. You know, he should have had a second yellow card. That would have been very, very quick.
Yeah. Well, speaking of time and how long it takes, we had a long VAR check for offside on Arsenal's third goal, which Leandro Trossard scored. Here it is. Over 3 minutes for this check. I think they checked a couple of players, didn't they? It was Nketiah and maybe Saka as well. We've got semi-automated offside technology, Dermot. So why did this take so long, do you think?
It's because of Nketiah, without doubt. If you look, this is the one. That's so tight. Once that's played in, there's that one, and then the ball comes in for Saka, but Saka doesn't take part in the move. So it becomes very elongated. But Jay's just said if we get the right decision, and it was the right decision, it was offside. This is what annoys people, and this is why I say about stopping the game even more, because, yeah, we've waited a long time, we've got the right decision, but the argument is, could it have been quicker? And then we suddenly say, well, we want to delay the game even more. So there's no right balance.
Damn it, we need better technology, innit? That's what we need.
We need more balance.
Didn't bite. Okay.
Is it a setback, Daniel, in a title race? Bump in the road?
No, I don't think it is.
Is it a good point?
Yeah, it's a good point. Sunderland are fantastic at home. We've seen what they're all about. We know how good they are. So I don't think it's a step back. I think it's a point earned. I think they would feel that they deserve to win the game. I think that's where the disappointment is. If you asked me before the game, would they have wanted to go there and win? Absolutely. But the point's a good point away at Sunderland. We've seen other teams struggle there. So, you know, the disappointment comes in the chances they created. He would have felt like we should have came away with the win.
Did you say 7 clean sheets for Sunderland at home? I mean, it's difficult.
Only City and Arsenal have conceded more than newly promoted Sunderland.
And City's XG was just short of 3. It's just one of those days. I think, looking back, you'll be disappointed with the chances that he didn't take. But in the course of the season, how Sunderland have performed, I think it's a...
Well, of course, they held Arsenal there as well.
Exactly that. But it's not just that. They're missing, 6 players to AFCON, Ballard out as well. And to put in that performance and be so organised, the manager needs a lot of credit as well.
How do you see the title race at the halfway stage? This is the halfway point.
Oh, you want us to predict again, do you?
No, I just want your reflections on it.
I think it's going to go all the way. I think Man City still look dangerous. Rodri coming back, Doku coming back. I thought Savinho did excellent in the first half. Arsenal just look really robust. They look like they might not risk the game as much as Man City in terms of trying to get forward and score goals, but they look really good defensively. And the squad, we've talked about the squad many times before, but having Gabriel back is a massive bonus for them. Offensive, defensively, organisation, and it was a big game against Villa, getting that win in terms of, it feels like there was a lot of pressure And Aston Villa have caused them problems in previous seasons, but for them to get over the line in that way, it'd give the club a big boost.
How do you see it?
Yeah, I think Manchester City probably surprised, a lot of people in terms of how well they've played so far, considering where they were last year. You look at them this year, they're going in the right direction, and I think they're building that confidence and that belief that, okay, we're getting back to our best now. Just like Meek said there with the Rodri, he's come back to fitness now, and potential new players joining the club as well. They've got that optimism. You can see that Pep, he looks like he's got that, that feeling that they can actually challenge and win it as well. And for Arsenal, that this is, we talk about Arsenal and we say, when are they going to take the next step? Could this be the year? The players they have, they've got goals in the wide areas. They've signed a striker who should be able to help them score goals. They've got Gabriel Jesus coming back, who's been brilliant for the club through the course of his career, and Havertz. And then defensively, like Meek said, with Gabriel coming back, Nkapie has been brilliant. Mascara's been brilliant. That was the question mark before. Okay, the defenders, if they lose Saliba, they lose Gabriel, maybe they can't compete. Maybe those injuries. They've signed two quality centre-backs who help them. So all around the pitch now, there's really no excuses just for Arsenal outside of injury.
No, I was just saying, obviously you've won the Premier League, and it's just, everyone sort of talks about Arsenal and the pressure and the nervousness. But when I won the league at Man City, it was always like that. It was up and down and up and down. And it comes from the fans are going to be nervous. That's a normal thing. In the camp, you're looking at every single fixture. You're looking at, well, maybe we can get a point there. Can we get a draw as long as we don't lose there? I remember going back to the year we won it, and Man United dropped points to Everton, late doors. I think it was 4-4 in that game. And there's going to be moments within the season which is going to be the turning point for both. Obviously, they play each other, I think it's in April. That's going to be a massive game. But I think it's going to go all the way to the end, because the know-how of Man City, but the willingness of Arsenal as well, wanting it so much.